If you wanted to have overclocking and undervolting on your computer, especially if you have 7600, because now we have 7600 Ryzen CPU, 6 cores, 12 threads. The first thing you need to do is just turn on this application and see the best cores and the worst cores on your computer. Here it shows that my fifth core, it says core 4, but this is the fifth actually because it starts with 0. Fifth core is the best cores, 1/1, number one core, and the second one goes with the third core, says core 2, and then it goes till 6, the last here, 5/6 is the worst core. So according to this, when you note this to somewhere next to you, and then you go to BIOS, and then you can start undervolting your CPU at the curve optimizer settings. So that's what we're going to do now. We're getting there in a second. I used to have plus 150, plus 200 before on the CPU boost clock override, and curve optimizer were all cores minus between 15 and 20, I guess. I used it like that for 5-6 months, and then a few weeks ago I decided to have per core curve optimizer undervolting here, and then as you can see I did some things here. I didn't spend too much time on it. I spent really like at least 30 minutes, but maximum 1 hour on setting these values here. So the best score is, I think if I remember correct, was this, and I set the value 15 for this. And then the second best should be actually lower than 15, but I said maybe if these two cores are the best, it can handle the same curve optimizer minus 15 here. So I set the same value for those, and then there is no 14 but 13 for the third core, and then goes 12, 11, and 10 for the worst score. For the worst score, it's 10 here right now, but I started with 6. So the first core was the core that I started to undervolt actually, and then these numbers are coming after that. So I started with 6, and then I started to increase the number until 10, and then decided to leave it at 10 because after 10 it started to go backwards. I mean, the performance wise it started to drop, and this is the best value for plus 100 megahertz and minus 10 for the worst core. And then I left it at 10 but increased the best cores like until 18, but it didn't increase performance, so I came back to 15 or 14 sometimes. There's not much difference between 15 and 14 in my case. So yeah, these are the best numbers for my CPU. So this is how you undervolt and overclock, and I still have plus 5 watts extra on the CPU power usage. Also, RAM is overclocked, 6000 CL28, and these are the voltages. Yep, that's it. See you next time.